So we could talk about the dried root medicinal. This is a good representation of the ideal dried root medicinal, or something close to it, because it's still cultivated, but at least it's cultivated in the mountains. It's conical, it's twisted, it's between 1/2 and 3 centimeters wide, externally brownish yellow or deep yellow. It has coarse and marked longitudinal wrinkles going down the wrinkles. Also warty prominent stem scars and the remnants of the stems at the head. So when we look at one of the differences we want to examine is the difference between something that looks like a wild medicinal. The wild medicinal has more stem scars, more warty prominences. The upper portion is going to be more curved, and it may have some of this irregular lenticular pattern, which is this kind of strange mosaic-y looking stuff up here. So when we look at the cultivated materials, the cultivated materials are thin and long. They're not twisted as much. They have more branches. They're a lighter yellow, maybe pale yellow or pale brown. They have less longitudinal wrinkles and less of the warty prominences. So we should be able to determine the difference between cultivated and wild-crafted, particularly if we can see the whole medicinal material. It's a little bit harder when everything's been cut into slices. So this being said, the next thing that we look at is quality specifications. The quality specifications are traditional methods for using organoleptic measures to assess the quality of these medicinal materials. In the past, Huang Qin has been divided into these 3 or 4 categories. There's a few different ways to look at it. This method talks about the big stick chin, which looks more like this, which is going to be something very old, 4 or 5 years old. And then we have a shorter and skinnier version of the stick chin, the zichin, which has no decayed central xylem. And then we have the standard Huang Qin, which should be just the broken off ends of the root. And then Ban Qin, which is decayed central slices of decayed central xylem. In the U.S., there's typically no quality specifications on the U.S. market. It's known that it's been abolished on the export market primarily. Springwind sells some quality differentiated herbs. Looking at these things, we have big stick chin and zichin, and then we have the form with the decayed central xylem, kuchin. So Huang Qin, or Scutellaria bicalensis, was the subject of my doctoral thesis work, and a lot of it was looking at some of these quality parameters. Like this is kuchin, and we've separated out the decayed central xylem from the yellow outer cortex, and also kind of moving in and looking at another way of looking at the material, the material itself. Here we see on the left is what's called Qin Wang, which is like the very large form of Huang Qin with a 1.8 centimeter diameter root that's up to 14 centimeters long or more. This would be the quality criteria for Qin Wang. And then B next to it is Tiao Qin, which is going to be a little bit narrower, not to 1.8 centimeters, but to 1.5. And then we move on to something even narrower, Tao Qin grade 2, which is going to be even narrower, less than 0.8 centimeters long. So Qin Wang would be the desired medicinal material, the highest quality medicinal material. It should be greater than 1.8 centimeters in diameter after drying. Also be extremely bitter and have all the other standard organoleptic markers for quality.
Again, that demonstrates that the green is like the lowest end.
It's different. So essentially, this is some random material we don't see on the U.S. market called Ban Qin, which is actually like really old 5-year root material. So it's not used in any of our formulas and not used as a medicinal really. It's the hallmark of the decayed central xylem, or it would typify the function of the decayed central xylem. But typically what we see when we use the materials is it's either not decayed or it's only half decayed. So that's going like really far to the extreme. I mean, in a way, it is a low quality, but it has rare function. So if you need that exact thing, it can be sort of high quality because it's rare and difficult to get. to find, to wait 5 years just to have some bitter and decayed pieces of Central Xylem.